Welcome to Sweep the Pod, the official, unofficial Cobra Kai rewatch podcast. I am your host, Dana Dute. I play a Noosh in Cobra Kai along with my trusty co-host,
Cousin Louie.
Bret
Ernst. By the way, Dan, your chairs are very uncomfortable. These are made for little people.
This chair that we're sitting in?
Your chairs. These are your chairs. We're in your living room.
First of all,
they're made for little people.
Okay.
Little short,
smug
people.
You know, I literally said to myself in my head before we start, don't go negative right away. Just kind of go and let's just have a nice time.
Right.
And then that's what you do to me. Well, I'm going to do it right back to you.
You do it all the time. I'm just trying to...
Episode 8...
I'm striking first.
Is called...
Like Cobra Kai.
Episode 8 is called Molting. Now, let me ask you, Bret, smartest person I know. Do you even know what the word molting means?
It's either lava or
oh my God.
When a snake loses its skin.
Oh, fuck. He does know.
I dominate you in trivia.
Molting. We start with a wonderful training montage and actually, I just thought about this. This is the Cobra Kai training montage compared to episode 7, the beginning, which is Robby doing his training montage of the waxing on and waxing off. These kids are in a fucking junkyard.
And they're listening to Twisted Sister, 80s soundtrack, which, again, this show, I don't know if they can do it, but if they put a soundtrack out, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, but I like that it opens with him drinking beer and calling them all nerds and losers.
Amazing. And he's making them do the most unsafe things, which you watch and you're like, you can't get away with this stuff. But Johnny can. He can get away with it. And eventually a rabid German shepherd chases down
I had a question for
Hawk. You. Yes.
Have you ever competed in anything and trained for anything?
Yes.
Jiu-jitsu, right? But you don't compete.
I never competed in jiu-jitsu. I was on the cycling team in high school. I would shave my legs for aerodynamics.
Did you have your dreads and fanny pack?
I did. My dreads were under my helmet.
Did you really?
Yes.
God, I hate you.
Yeah.
You're such an awful person.
Okay.
You cycle?
Yes, I was on the cycling team.
And you would train, so you competed?
Yeah.
Did you win?
No.
Of course not. Were you cycling just to say you cycle? Because you're that guy.
No, I was actually on a team. I actually cycled so much, I didn't have to take gym class in high school for a couple of years because I was on this team, so I got an exemption.
It was in high school?
Yeah.
Did you do anything after that, like next level competitions?
For the cycling?
No, I meant like in general.
Actually, my cycling career came to an abrupt ending.
One of your dreads got caught in the spokes.
I mean, you're making fun now, but it's a medical thing that happened to me.
What are you, like Lance Armstrong?
Okay.
You racked your balls or something?
No.
What? But nothing outside of high school.
I realized that I was born with an extra set of ribs.
Shut up.
Yes. I have a cervical rib.
Dude, stop.
Which is an extra.
Please stop, man.
I swear to God.
Please tell me this is real.
I have a cervical rib, which is an extra set of ribs right here on top.
Of your neck?
Well, your ribs.
I know. They go from the back.
They go all the way here. Where yours end, I have one on, like, 2 little riblets sticking out of the vertebrae on top of that. And it was causing me a lot of pain when my arms were out on the handlebars to ride. And so I had to stop cycling because I'm glad that my skeletal defect is giving you so much pleasure. Do you get triggered when the McRib is back?
Anyways,
there's a surgery for it, but it's very invasive.
But don't you remove ribs so you can blow yourself? Like Marilyn Manson?
Those are the bottom ribs. I think those are the bottom ribs.
But you have extra ribs.
Well, this is something I have no control over that you're making fun of.
I'm sorry, dude. Speaking of ribs, so now there's a barbecue at the LaRusso house.
There is.
And this is when we meet Randy, or Mrs. LaRusso, Daniel's mom.
Yeah.
From the first one, who reminded me of my mom.
Mm-hmm. What's your mom's name again?
Don't worry about it.
Cheryl?
No.
What's her name?
Roberto.
No, it's not. I know her name.
It's Roberto.
No, it's not.
Roberta.
No, it's not.
It's rib. It's Ribby as opposed to Libby.
What's your mom's name?
So,
Please tell me.
Louise.
No, it's not. I know her name. When you say it, I'll know. My mom's name is Rachel. You tell me your mom's name now.
No.
Why?
Cuz I want you to remember it.
No, we are at the barbecue.
Right, we're at the barbecue.
We meet the whole family is there. Mom is there, and Mom and Amanda have some playful ribbing that moms and daughter-in-laws will have. You're there.
There was a lot of ribbing.
You're there because you're the cut.
So Randy and I forget what's is her name Louise?
The mom?
Yeah, I just know her as Randy.
I just said Mrs. LaRusso.
Mrs. LaRusso, and me. I bring her there. I'm still curious on my relationship. Like, I know my father in the show is the one that's in bed in Karate Kid 2. Because I think my father dies and he's really sick and she's taking care of him.
Okay.
In the beginning of Karate Kid 2.
Uh-huh.
I'm just wondering, me and her are close. I guess she's my aunt.
Yeah.
But she married into the LaRussos.
Or, well, she was divorced. Oh, no, her dad died at the top. So, yes, she married into
She was widowed. So, yeah, so it's kind of like maybe my godmother.
Yeah.
And we get there and...
Can I say something that I know you're going to make fun of me for?
No, not at all. If you're going to be serious, I won't make fun of you.
I get sad when I see you doing scenes that I'm not in. And a little jealous.
Dude, what?
I feel, it breaks my heart. I'm like, we should be together. He's cheating on me. He's in a scene without me.
Well, we're
a duo.
I was kicked out of season 2.
But that's not because of anything plot related. That's because
no, it was plot related.
You were hitting on too many people.
I'm saying you were in one scene, I think, or one episode in season 2. I didn't care. But you feel like if I'm with, because we're always together.
Yes.
Yeah.
It hurt. I'm allowed to have my feelings, and it broke my heart a little bit to see you there gallivanting, having a fun time without me.
All right. Can we just get to the episode?
Sure.
So there's a lot of ribbing going on
with
the pasta salad.
Pasta salad is a garbage food. I don't think it should exist.
I kind of agree.
It makes no sense to me.
I mean, it's good for barbecues sometimes. It's like, it's one of those things that, like, do you like potato salad?
Very different. Yes, I do like potato salad. I think the difference is I don't like having vinegar flavor on pasta. It's a mind fuck that doesn't work. And the cold, I don't think pasta should ever be cold.
I mean, I don't know. It's leftover pasta is pretty good in the fridge.
Is leftover pasta fine, but cold by design?
I get what you're saying. And, I think the black olives and broccoli and whatever the shit's in the pasta salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they put ham chunks in it. I wonder where that came from.
It can't be an Italian thing. It's got to be like an American.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they're taking shots. Randy's taking shots on Courtney or Amanda about how she buys prepackaged stuff, which I could see that if a real Italian mother. See, here's the thing though. The Italian moms, they don't do that. What is your mom's name again? No,
Just tell me your fucking mom's name.
It's Carol.
Carol, that's it.
God.
Carol.
So we can go on with the damn podcast.
Shout out to Carol. Would Carol make you pasta salad?
No. Carol, she does traditional Italian American food, and then we have some family recipes.
She made me pasta salad once.
We do, but like, everybody in our family, you're bringing something already made. That you make at home, but sometimes there's time constraints. Like,
she's a working woman. Yeah.
Sam is dating a bad boy.
Sam is dating a Cobra Kai.
A Cobra Kai, and she's keeping it a secret. And then Ralph's telling her, or Daniel's telling her to stay away. Stay away from any of those people. They're no good. Which in a woman or a girl without a father, it might be like, ooh, interesting. But it really bothers Sam.
Yeah.
And because,
you have extensive experience with girls without fathers.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's my favorite kind.
Yeah.
So now Johnny finds out that it's a LaRusso.
I mean, it's just like it's like Romeo and Juliet, the setup here. It's like the families, the Montagues, the Capulets, the Cobra Kais, the Miyagis. It's like the setup of this that's why in a lot of ways I think Cobra Kai might even be better than the Karate Kid, because it's creating this like almost Shakespearean Game of Thronesy setup, which you don't get that in the movie. The movie was very like cut and dry.
You never get that really in any movie.
Yeah,
right?
This is the only thing you can get with like 10 hours of footage or whatever. I mean, it's really wonderful.
So when Johnny, this I found funny, because he does the 80s moves, when he was talking about throwing popcorn and how he met Allie.
Milk Duds.
Milk Duds.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. Hawk was throwing popcorn in the theater. So we really get a bit of a backstory here on how Johnny met Allie. Now, interesting enough, she gave him the headband, which he happened to have on him.
Yes. Yes.
While he's talking about her, which
Yeah.
kind of gives us the indication. I mean, maybe he's over her, maybe he's not.
Maybe not.
Because he really does live in that time period.
It's frozen in amber. Amber. Solidified in amber.
Is that a term?
I don't know.
But I found that interesting. He's recounting his version of the story, which is a little different than what really happened.
This to me is one of the most epic scenes of the whole season. It's the revisionist history of the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
It's taking everything that we thought we knew, and he's using the same exact imagery. He's using the same exact moments, but seeing them through his eyes, you're like, wait a second, maybe I was tricked. Maybe I was like almost propagandized to be on Daniel Russo's side this whole time.
Yeah. Well, no, because we saw what really happened at the beach. Johnny was kind of lying. He was embellishing.
He was embellishing a little.
Yeah. And then, he was saying how then this karate guy came out of nowhere and beat up our friends. They were beating the shit out of him. There was 8-on-1.
Yeah, but
we remember, and I know what you did to my cousin.
Yeah, but what did he say first, though? He says, we wanted to just set him straight, because this guy kept coming back. We wanted to teach him a lesson and be done with it. But then the karate guy came and started kicking our ass.
Yeah, but they were still...
And he goes, my friend still has brain damage.
Yeah. But yeah, they were still fucking with him.
Yeah. But, look, he has his version of the story. What do they say in couples therapy? There's my side, there's your side, and there's the truth.
Is that couples therapy or just in general?
Snaps.
Yeah, I really do love this scene, because it does. It tells us how they met and how Allie, I guess, yelled at him, said, hey, then he fell in love with her.
Yeah.
But, it's just odd to me. You look back at high school fondly, but, it's your high school girlfriend. You're 15. Did you have a girlfriend in high school?
I did. Kelly Myersfield. In fact, she commented on one of our at Sweet the Pod's Instagram account when people were like, "We want to see these dreadlocks," and people and you were making fun of my dreadlocks, and that was
everybody was.
And she commented. She said, "I actually love those dreadlocks."
Yeah, because that's that. Want you to feel better. Everybody's picking on you. So I'm going to be supportive. Nobody.
I had sex inside her with the dreadlocks on my head.
Well, you had sex inside her,
yes.
or you were inside her?
With the dreadlocks on my head. So it wasn't just like, let me make her feel better.
God, they must have stunk.
Oh, very badly.
Why?
In fact,
why did you make that choice?
Every time I had sex on and I would be on top, and the movement.
Did you wear that Chipotle or
things would fall out? Some animals would fall out.
Did you wear that
wrapper.
oil? That Chipotle, the patchouli?
No, I didn't wear patchouli.
Like, were you one of those kids that was always trying to search for an identity?
Yeah.
Because you never really experienced anything? Yeah.
Well, I was an Iranian Jewish kid growing up in a very Jewish neighborhood, and I wanted to be different. And doing dreadlocks, you can't do anything more different than that.
But I'm saying that's very like, and I'm not being a dick about it, but that's very consistent with like kids that didn't really have adversity. I think people crave it.
Here we go.
No, for real. I'm not being a dick. Well, you like to make fun of my socioeconomic status, and you're constantly reminding people how you come from money and how educated you are. And that's what I'm saying. So you were looking for something to make yourself stand out, because in real life, you're just an average person.
Fucking money or anything like that, asshole fuck. It was because I felt like I wanted to be different. I wanted to be seen.
Is this?
I felt like I was being ignored. Girls didn't like me. I wasn't in the cool kid club.
But maybe they didn't like you because you're trying. You're trying too hard. Like you just can't be.
No, they didn't.
Because you're unique in yourself.
They didn't like me because I was not good looking.
It has nothing to do with looks.
And then I had to develop a winning personality and hilarious sense of humor, and that
to overcompensate for your 2 extra ribs.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right, so now he's talking to Robby about Miyagi again, right? And now we're back to dinner.
Yeah, now we get back to Louis. Louis setting up, if I may speak freely of you, the actor, Louis, has a motorcycle scam, and it gets everyone into a huge fight.
So the motorcycles thing comes, and Courtney didn't appreciate me, or Daniel said, what I tell you about making deals with my name. And so I met these guys apparently at Bike Week and was like, yo, I got a main line. Let's sell some motorcycles.
LaRusso motorcycles.
Right. And this is what I was going to say. I can't get over how young Anthony is.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's insane. I told you.
So weird.
He grew
quick.
Like real quick.
He's taller than me.
And I remember thinking, is that a different kid?
Yeah, same. It's like they timed his growth spurt somehow. Like I'm always fascinated by how they know, like, hey, this kid's going to fucking grow 6 feet between season 2 and 3.
Well, I don't know, or do they just write around it?
Maybe they write around it.
Well, here's the thing. So we're getting back to the pasta salad. So when we were doing the scene, there was an argument. And, obviously we improv'd it. And there was a button that they were looking for. Mm-hmm.
A button is sort of a end of a scene. You want to have like a really fun way out.
So we were all doing different takes, and there was more arguing about the pasta salad. So I paused too long. I said the pasta salad tastes like shit.
Okay.
And,
hilarious.
because everything was calm.
Yeah.
And then I started it back up again. And I think I waited too long on the pause because I thought they were going to use that take.
I think that's funny that you waited on the pause.
Yeah, but it was too long of
yeah.
Yeah, because like it couldn't have ended. I mean, I guess they could have cut it in closer.
Yeah.
But it was like more of a overly pregnant pause.
Hilarious. I love overly pregnant pauses. I'm into them.
But just so the viewers know, when I think we went over this earlier, but they allow us. We do a scene with what's written, and then they'd allow me and Dan to improv, and they've used almost all of our improvs.
Yeah, very, very.
But I thought that was the funniest one.
That sounds
and it
very
didn't get
funny
in
to
there.
me.
Yeah, it was good.
I like that.
All right.
Now we get back to Johnny's story. He comes over to his neighbors to Miguel's family's house.
Well, Carmen sees him and invites him for dinner.
Yes, for some traditional Ecuadorian food. And he gets to know Carmen, and they seem like a pretty fun match. They seem like she seems to get his crazy. She finds it charming.
And you know what's great is Johnny tries. He just doesn't know any better. Like when they're speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
And then
the plantains line, hilarious.
Yeah, and
in English we call it bananas.
But there's a couple of foreshadowing, or I don't know what the term would be, where he keeps bringing up just because there's nice houses doesn't mean things are going good in there.
Yes.
And I think that the perception that people have, because there is a romanticizing of poor kids, right? Especially in movies where like the rich kid's always the asshole who has it easy. I mean, in your case you did, but I'm saying in general, not all rich kids have it great. And not all poor kids should be like the hero and romantic. There's a lot of asshole poor kids that are just rotten people.
Yes.
And there's a lot of rich kids that don't have it easy because people always associate that.
Right.
And I always felt when you meet somebody like in Hollywood, without mentioning names, that might have prominent parents but are successful, or if you're ever been around kids that are from money, there's this thing where like all of a sudden now their opinion doesn't matter, or they have no credibility. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I just thought that was an interesting, because Johnny is as blue collar as they come.
Well, I like that you think that's interesting because all you do is make fun of me for and it seems like you have a lack of empathy for me because of my socioeconomic background.
Well,
which, by the way, didn't grow up rich, grew up like, middle class, slightly upper middle class. But
Mara, could you chime in on this? Didn't he literally
compared to your
started the last episode that we did last week
upbringing that apparently
I'm not in an orphanage.
Apparently you and Carol are like dumpster diving looking for empty cans that you can lick.
I was 20 when I was working and said that if I didn't steal, I didn't eat.
Okay. There
was never the one thing in my house you never had to worry about was there not being food.
We can tell.
Well, but you're the one that brings up my background as a slight, where I'm proud. You don't know what people say behind your back, Dan. And I'm the one that defends you all the time. You just don't know.
What do people say behind my back? Who are people?
So anyways, so Johnny goes back to his house. I find this, there's two things. Miguel runs in the room and Sam's FaceTiming him saying, there's other dojos. So for me,
she tries to get him to leave Cobra Kai.
Right. She's already trying to change him.
She's trying to change a man.
Already.
There's
a lot of red flags with Sam that people are not picking up on.
No.
And then Carmen apparently married a drug lord because she's like, my husband was a criminal.
Yes.
She had no idea. Johnny goes back to his place and he feels like he's changed. He starts cleaning the house.
He wants to be a better man.
And he doesn't drink the beer. He takes the orange juice.
She says something really poignant. She says something along the lines of, your past mistakes don't have to dictate your future.
Your future. And that motivates Johnny to finally clean his house.
I love it.
Yeah, and he sees that. So now the next scene, Robby comes over to train and he sees Sam.
Sam and Robby.
Laying out.
He has a crush.
And basically we're getting it. I think they already signaled it, but now Sam is talking about the training.
Can I just say something? Are you going to accuse me of interrupting?
No, not at all.
Because you do that a lot. I think it's, there's an expression in the UFC that Nate Diaz says. He says the best fights are real fights. Meaning the best fights in the UFC are when the people actually hate each other and like they actually want to kill each other. Okay? I feel like here we're getting a taste of this flipped upside down. So the actors who play Robby and Sam end up getting engaged in real life.
Right.
So the chemistry that we're seeing between them at this first meeting is could be like real chemistry that
I don't know, because I remember Robby had a girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, but look, this chemistry might have been enough to pull him away.
This is 2016 or 2017.
Yeah.
So I think the chemistry happened like by them being around each other.
I know, but this is where it's starting.
I think that's just really good acting, Dan.
I know, dude, but there's a kernel of real love in there because it ended up flourishing into real love.
It ended up being that, but I think they were both in relationships.
It's like you have to disagree with.
So now Robby sees Sam, And Sam's giving hints now that she's been training. She knows how to train because she brings up the tree.
Right.
And there's something here that I noticed too. We go back to Johnny.
No, wait. Now we're going
Wait,
back.
no. Now he's cleaning. He's watching Iron Eagle.
Oh, that's right.
Everything's, which is another great. Have you ever seen it?
Never seen it. This is in fact I saw the clip and I was like, I'll let Bret take this because I don't know much about Iron Eagle.
Lou Gossett Jr. plays Chappie Sinclair. Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds is in there. The story is Doug, I think his name's Doug Masters. In the movie, his father is an Air Force pilot. He gets shot down, and the government doesn't want to get him back. So, because his son was learning how to fly planes because his dad's like Top Gun. So Chappie, Lou Gossett Jr., they commandeer and steal warplanes to save his dad. It's a great movie. But he's listening to the tape. He put a tape in which Chappie told him, if I get shot down, all right, you have to play the tape, and he talks to him. But it's just a great movie, on par with the era, the tone, that 80s retro thing, and I love it.
And now we have LaRusso taking Robby to a forest, which is clearly not anywhere near California. It's definitely
anyway.
In fucking Georgia.
Well, I mean, there was, I know, I'm like, where are they going?
There's nowhere in California that looks like where they go. They're clearly in Georgia, but they're at a beautiful forest with a beautiful lake, and he's teaching him the ways of the Miyagi, of balance, of defense, and we have a really nice training montage where they do katas by the lake. It's very beautiful.
And I love the balance in life analogy.
Yes.
And because, Robby doesn't have a dad in Ralph's mind. He still doesn't know. And, he's just talking about how you have to have balance. You have to take all the bad things and the good things and just balance them out.
Yeah. Find the good things, he said. It's almost like this whole, gratitude. Like, find the things to be thankful for.
And then when Robby goes to, he looks like he's about to come clean.
Yeah.
And then he just says, look, because you could see the kid changing. And it comes later on again, I think in another episode. But these grown men have to remember, these are kids.
Yeah. Handsome kids.
They're just children.
Very handsome children.
And, it seems like Robby's learning and growing. And then Ralph gives an Islander shout out to the New York Islanders.
Yeah, which he's in real life a huge fan of.
Yeah. And, usually Mets, Jets, Islanders are usually consistent.
Yeah.
And Yankees, Giants, and Rangers.
Are we going to have a sports podcast now? Is that what's happening?
Well, Ralph's a big Mets fan.
He is.
Big Islanders fan, and I think he's a Jets fan.
Oh, he was in Hard Knocks, the Jets Hard Knocks. And now Billy goes to his dad's place to set the record straight. Gives him a huge...
No. Got two other things.
Okay.
So now they're at the movies.
Guess I'm just going to go fuck myself.
Well, we got two scenes here.
Yeah. Well, some of the scenes, you don't really need...
No, that you do. There's two major things here.
Going scene by scene. Everybody.
Hawk starts growing balls. He's throwing popcorn at the girls in the theater.
Yes.
Right? I think Sam's with him. No. He's talking about...
Aisha is there.
Yeah, Aisha's there. And they're talking about Sam.
Okay.
Right? The relationship. And then the next scene, Robby stumbles upon Ralph doing that move.
The handstand
which
move.
is very important.
It is very important.
And here's what I realized. That's like some Yoda Jedi shit. There is a Sith Jedi overtone in this show.
Okay.
Ralph Jedi, Johnny Sith. The way they do it. And, even the way Robby centers himself later on, which I don't want to spoil it, very reminiscent of Darth Maul and Quan Kin Jinn, whatever his name was, in the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Where I love that scene. We'll get to it. We'll get to it later on, but you got to remind me.
Okay.
And now
I don't watch Star Wars.
Never?
No.
Are you serious?
Not really. I wasn't like a crazy Star Wars person. I feel like when you grow up with immigrant parents, you just see different shit, man. Okay?
What does that have to do with anything?
I
Star
mean-
Wars is seen all over the world.
I know, but you don't understand. When you grow up in an immigrant household, you don't do all the shit that all the other kids do.
So wait, dreads are okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? Rollerblading's fine.
Right.
Star Wars internationally, it's an international movie.
Right.
I mean, so if they're watching it in Iran,
Uh-huh.
right? And this, when it was out, was the Ayatollah there yet? Yeah, he came in 79.
Yeah.
So maybe they weren't watching it in Iran.
No, they definitely weren't.
But all over the world, it's a phenomenon.
The only character they could watch was Darth Vader because he was covered. He was fully covered. I'm just saying, immigrant parents aren't like, ooh, let's go see this hot movie that everyone's watching. No, it was like, no,
When did you move here?
stay home, study. I was born here. I'm a fucking American. When did you move here? Is that what you
Yeah,
just
well,
said? Did you
I
not
thought-
know that I'm a fucking...
No, I thought you were born in
American?
Iran and your family fled from the Shah when the Shah fell.
You thought that you didn't know that I was born here.
I thought you were, well,
Do you not hear that I sound like a fucking American?
yeah, but that doesn't mean
I
anything.
don't sound like a goddamn immigrant.
Dude, let's get through this. Anyways, so now he goes to see Ed Asner. Brilliant acting. Johnny comes. You take it.
Oh, yeah, we really needed to pause to go back to the movie scene. That wasn't a waste of time.
Well, because you never saw Star Wars, and probably, wouldn't you say, Mara, one of the most influential movies in history?
yes.
Okay, so you never saw Star Wars?
No, we were...
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, but you saw it. Wait, hold on. This whole immigrant shit's out the fucking window.
Immigrants.
First of all, you do comedy drag shows. Okay, but you couldn't see Star Wars? Well, I'm just saying. And what excuse? You do all kinds of wacky shit and have seen wacky shit, but the immigrant parents just... Star Wars is where we draw the line. You could wear bike shorts and rollerblade and have dreads and 2 extra ribs and a and a fanny pack, but you cannot see Star Wars. So did you see Bugs Bunny? Do you know who Bugs Bunny is, or Mickey Mouse?
He goes to Ed Asner's house, his father.
It's such a cop-out.
And Johnny brings a huge envelope of money, all the money, to give it back to his dad. And his dad says, should I just leave it on the table? You're just going to come back for it? And he goes, no, I won't be back. And he goes, I gave you everything. And he goes like, yeah, well, you didn't give me what I needed, which was the thing
that's
that
not
I
what he said.
wanted.
That's
I
not
don't
what he
remember what the line was.
He said, you want my money. And he goes, that's the only thing you know. That's the only way you know how to get, like, that's the only thing you've got to offer.
Yeah.
That's what you use to offer. That's his love language.
We fucked up the line. We don't know the line.
Yeah, well, you tried to attempt it. I didn't even write it down.
Oh, wait, I wrote it down. I never needed your money. That's just all you had to give me.
Yeah, it's basically.
That sounds better than my initial one.
Which kind of sound like Emperor Palpatine, by the way you talked.
You're giving me fucking Palpatine.
I don't care. Have you seen Raiders of the Lost Ark?
My parents are immigrants, dude. I don't know what part of my fucking parents.
Have you seen
immigrants.
Goodfellas?
Do you not understand?
So you've seen no movies.
My parents are immigrants. How many more times do I have to say it?
Now, I could see if I said you didn't have Star Wars figures.
Do you know what my mom would not let us watch at home? Married with Children. She would not let us watch that.
But you were a
With
teenager.
a passion. She would not let that be on the TV because she hated the family values in that show. She didn't like how the parents talked.
Well, then
to each
she
other.
definitely didn't like Darth Vader's family values. Awful father. That's probably what she kept you away from it. So now Courtney and Randy are getting along.
The
or
LaRusso women are playing nice.
Lucille and Amanda are getting along.
By the way, I just thought it was such a cop-out that the writers did in this scene.
Right.
Because...
It's never explained.
Yeah, because...
Well, I think because they're drinking wine and they're drunk. I don't know.
Because Daniel comes home and he sees Sam and he's like, what'd you do to get them to be friends? I don't want to know as long as they're friends. I'm like, oh.
Well, she holds the wine glass
That
up.
was a good writing cop-out, guy.
But she holds the wine glass up as to say, I got him drunk.
Because alcohol makes everything better, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel shows up at the house. Alpha move. He's going to show up at the house, introduce himself, handshake. Hi, I'm Miguel. I'm dating your daughter. Hopefully we will be clipping soon. But he sees that Robby is there, and she seems to be having a blast with him. Samantha is having a blast.
Now, here's the thing, though.
And he walks away bummed. Miguel walks away
I know,
bummed.
but here's my thing. I would have still said, hey, and that could be a cousin. That could be anybody.
Yeah, but now you're walking into a situation that's already, the stress level's at 100. And now it's another element of like, I have to go in for this. And it seemed like she was actually like a flirtatious, not like a cousin talking. It seemed like new love, which is what it was in real life. Oh my God, it's so cute that they ended up together.
And then he's nervous to meet the parents, which I'd never had a girlfriend in high school. I didn't have my real first girlfriend until I was like 24.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was the kid. This is the truth. None of the parents liked. Because they thought I was the problem. And because not kids like you, but they were the ones that were into the fucked up shit. They were doing drugs on the down low. Like I never even smoked pot, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I never to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But they would use because not that I was from the wrong side of tracks, because my orphanage.
Right. It was it was on the east side of the tracks. Right?
Yes. But Miguel, I was more like a Miguel.
Well, the thing is, Bret,
but Robby's the real piece of shit. And I really think, well, I mean, he's growing, but I think sometimes parents want to see what they want to see. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, you are the poster child for don't judge a book by its cover. Because if I were to judge you by your cover, I would think you're a scumbag. I would think you're a piece of shit.
I am.
I would think that you are...
I'm trash.
Trash.
I am trash.
I would think you're garbage. But I know you well. I know you're religious. I know you love your mother. I know you don't drink.
Who the fuck doesn't love their mother?
A lot of people don't love their mothers. And I just know that you're a very, very good guy with good ethics, good morals. You love to treat the staff great anywhere we go. You overtip anywhere we go. You're a good person. But if I were to judge you by its cover, I would think you're probably the biggest scumbag I've ever met in my life. So I think we're agreeing. We're saying the same thing.
Anyways, I just felt Miguel should have, if it were me, I would have made my presence known.
You would have.
Yeah, because I'm not going to walk away. First of all, I would have been very respectful. I would have introduced myself already. I don't know what the rush is to meet the parents. Mm-hmm. That was my point. Mm. You know what I mean? Mm. I was always nervous that, but even if they didn't like me, I wouldn't care. There was a situation that I was in a dating situation later on in life. Mm-hmm. And the way the parents behaved, because they had money, I didn't respect them. And it's funny, you brought it up. This is a crazy story. I was overly nice to the waiter. And they were like, why are you having conversations? Like, just tell them what you want and move on. Yeah. And then being in the service industry and coming from the background I came from, I'm like, listen, first of all, you're going to find stuff in your salad that you didn't order if you're not overly nice. Just to be nice in general should be the thing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get along with parents like that sometimes. Right. Because I coming from an orphanage, been on my own. So I was very, but I
Can I tell you something? And I don't want you to take offense to this.
I'm not.
If I had a daughter, you'd be like, sort of like the biggest nightmare of any man that would take my daughter out. Like, nightmare number one would be someone who looked and talked like you.
Why?
Because
it's not my fault you're timid.
It's not about that. It's not about that. I just feel like
my ex-father-in-law, I'm still friends with.
Right.
We get along. I love him.
Yeah.
We're still friends. We talk all the time.
Now
He's
that
flown
you're-
out to see me.
Right now that you're not with his daughter.
No, even when it's funny because he was self-made,
Yeah.
very successful man, and when you're with that type of person, you just bond,
Yeah.
you know. But
Hey, man.
I don't know why you would say that.
No, you're a great guy. And speaking of this great guy, we finally get to what might be your most epic scene in Cobra Kai. This is when you and your goons show up to Johnny's.
Now, there's a
And-
story behind this, by the way, that you
and
may not know
go
about.
ballistic on the car. Give it to me.
Okay, here's the story. So we were at lunch, and I'm sitting with Ralph, and it didn't sit well with him that I gave him up. Didn't sit well with me. And Ralph was like, because we both know, unlike in your family, ratting people out for pizza,
Right.
and not to sound cliche, but an Italian American, you don't.
Yeah.
You keep your mouth shut.
I remember this was a
You were with
this
us.
was torturing you for a while.
No, but you were at the table with us when we
Yeah.
were talking about it, and
Yeah.
and Ralph was like, I feel like Louis wouldn't do that, and that bothered me.
Yeah.
And you got to trust the writers. I mean, it's just acting. I just didn't feel like it would be consistent with Louis' character, considering I could see Louis getting him in a situation, but not putting him in one.
Did you end up approaching the writers?
No, Ralph did.
And what happened?
Because we were sitting down, and I said, "Do you?" And he goes, "It's bothering me." Now I don't know if that's just the way we were raised. I mean, Ralph's older than me, obviously, so, and but that's just like a no. It's just you just wouldn't do that, especially with the way. But Louis was kind of a jerk off guy, anyways.
So what ended up happening?
I rat him out.
But after he brought it up to the writers, they didn't change it?
No, they were like, well, just trust us on this, which you got to do.
Yeah.
But I never saw the payoff for that. Like, all I know is that I pissed off his wife. Nobody brought up that I gave up the address, and then he just showed up, and I was gone out of season 2.
Okay. But I will say, I thought your acting in that scene was fantastic. It was as if you've done that before in the past.
Oh, that's what I meant to tell you. So when I hit the light,
Yeah.
do you see how the noise is longer? I didn't, the bat, it was a real, obviously an aluminum bat.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't give.
Okay.
So I basically swung and cracked the light, but there was no giving. That's why it looks like it just stops, because it did.
Uh-huh.
Like, there was no, notice it next time, because then the noise is a lot louder.
Okay.
But, and also when we lit the car, obviously the fire's behind it. Were you there for that scene?
No.
But
Another scene you did without me.
it was an interesting scene, and then all of a sudden, I ratted him out.
You ratted him out.
Mm-hmm.
You're like Fredo. You're like the Fredo of
Well,
Cobra Kai.
Fredo didn't even mean to rat him out.
Yeah.
It was an accident. All right.
Let's get to our questions. Starting with, who would you fight on the mat, Johnny or Daniel?
Who would I fight?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, that's the other thing, bro. I left that out. When Johnny grabbed me, there was a moment in rehearsal where like he looked at me, and I got another man in my face grilling, but so when he reaches me up, it's kind of like you push back a little.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was like stone. Like I couldn't move him.
Yeah.
I would rather probably fight Daniel.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is before you feel like you betrayed him and it hurts your feelings, but now you're saying you want to fight him.
Who, Johnny?
No, Daniel. You're saying you want to fight.
Well, you're not talking as a character, are
I'm
we?
just saying, it seems like first you're a bitch.
How old was this kid?
You're a bitch in the scene.
I fucking ratted him out. I ratted him. It was awful.
Have you ever used another person's name for a shady deal?
No.
No fake names? No.
Oh, fake names?
Yeah.
Another person's real name? Yeah, I use fake names all the time. In fact, me and my friends used to have other names that we would have if we were in a situation.
And what was your
Steven?
Steve.
Be like, yo, Steve.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, if later on they said what were their names, we'd purposely all have other names.
Wow. You guys are like the Reservoir Dogs, you know, because they give them names like
No,
Mr.
that's
Pink
different.
and Mr. Red, so that they don't
We
know
all
each other's names.
no, we all knew our real names.
Right.
But a lot of people, you know, it's funny. I've talked to other people, other guys, and there's a couple guys that have done that before.
Yeah, I didn't need to have fake names for my friends when we were committing crimes.
Not crimes, but like if you get in a fight or whatever it may be, you got to go on foot.
Gotta go on foot. What are you?
It's orphan speak.
Are you? In
I have a
fucking
question.
Shawshank Redemption. Gotta go on foot.
Who do you rather have dinner with, Johnny or Daniel? We already know this one.
Yeah,
because you've had dinner. with Daniel.
I've had with Daniel, and it's been delightful. Daniel. Also, even if I didn't have dinner with him in real life, Johnny is not a good dining partner.
Nah, I mean, I would definitely eat with Daniel.
Johnny, I feel like would be scarfing his food down.
Who would you rather fight? You're the martial artist.
I think I'd probably rather fight Daniel because I feel like Johnny would fight dirty.
What's better payback? Torching a car. The idea of me even busting up that car. Like that's the thing. I did all of this and just ratted my cousin out.
Oh, we're back to you feeling...
What's better payback? Torching a car or talking it out?
Better payback?
Like, what's a better... I don't know. I'm telling you, we got to get the ages of the kids that write these questions. And the funny part is, you brought it up, I think, last episode where they're drinking whiskey. We have young kids, and we got to remember this when we answer questions.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about dating strippers.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's on the parents.
They're going to learn.
They're going to learn.
They watch Cobra Kai. There's underage drinking in it.
This has to be like a 5th grader that wrote this. Guys, this has been another episode of Sweep the Pod. This one was drawn out. We apologize. There was just a lot. I think I enjoyed it. I know Mara didn't.
This was a big episode for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it was the last one I was in until season 3. And I also understand. I used to get so much hate.
Yeah.
People hated my character. Yeah. And I get it. I didn't like how I went out, and I'm so glad.
Can you go to therapy for this? Because
I redeemed myself.
Let it go. Let it go, man.
Well, I'll if you guys want to catch me live, I will be in your town probably. I'm in 30 cities a year. So go to Bret Comedy, BRET comedy.com. Dan?
At Stand Up Dan on my socials. And don't forget at Sweep the Pod, the socials for our podcast.
Go ahead.
Make sure you like and subscribe. We're almost done with the season. Next episode, episode 9, it gets steamy.